Hey, I'm Stephen and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So today we're doing another reaction video and I didn't think it'd be so soon since I was creating another, but I couldn't help myself. This doozy aired on CNBC a few days ago and I just wanted to highlight how profound the disconnect is between what the finance media and the analyst sort of industry are saying and thinking and believing versus what Tesla is actually doing. I'm not going to spoil the clip. Let's just watch it in full and then I'll go back and add some commentary after. It's really short and I think you guys will find this pretty amusing.
We're going to start with Tesla up again this morning. Confused about the recent run-up this year? There's new data exclusive to CNBC that reveals the big advantage the company holds over other automakers. Our Phil LeBeau is going to explain that in Chicago. Phil?
And Carl, we'll talk about that data in just a bit. But with regard to that chart, one reason why the stock might be moving a little bit higher today is because of these positive reports out of China that the Tesla plant in Shanghai has reopened and has resumed production. We say these reports because this is according to local media. We have not heard confirmation from Tesla itself. Eunice Yoon says that there are reports that workers were seen entering via a bus wearing masks to resume production. We'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. As you take a look at shares of Tesla over the last week, Carl mentioned earlier today, the volume last week, 172 million shares, way above normal. Now to that exclusive data. It has to do with the battery costs for Tesla and other automakers as they're building electric vehicles. Look how much it's come down for Tesla. This is according to Cairn Energy Research Advisors. They basically break down batteries, look at the battery pack, look at the battery management system, and they say that Tesla is now down to $156 per kilowatt hour. That's at least $45 to $50 above all other automakers who do not use the same type of battery pack. They do not use cylindrical battery cells for building theirs. And according to Sam Jaffe with Cairn Energy Research, this is an advantage that Tesla is using and will use for years to come.
Tesla has a few years advantage. They've started a few years before the other automakers have committed to this. So they're quite ahead. That's going to last over time if they continue to innovate, which so far they have.
This is important data, guys, for one reason mainly. The fact that we continually hear from people saying, well, there's nothing different about a Tesla than any other electric vehicle. That is simply not true. When you talk with, whether it's Cairn Energy Research or you talk with others, they will tell you that, yes, there is a difference both in terms of structure, the software, the chemistry. That is a difference that Tesla is using right now, and it's a big reason why increasingly when you talk with analysts on Wall Street, they say this is an advantage that Tesla will use at least for the next couple of years until other automakers become more competitive with them on the cost side.
For sure. The contest is far from over. Phil, that's good stuff. Our Phil LeBeau in Chicago. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to regain my composure. Wow, did you guys hear that? Exclusive and new information. Tesla's batteries are better than everybody else. Can you believe it? I had no idea. Apart from the fact that I did have an idea, and everybody who's done any homework at all has figured this out pretty easily. Even if you don't want to dive into stuff or look at Matty Mogul's great EV core efficiency table, which he's been producing for who knows how long, with great information showing how far ahead Tesla is on batteries. Even if you don't want to do that, at a really basic level, you might get a little bit of a clue as a consumer. If you are in the market for an EV, and you start looking at range as one of your considerations, you will very quickly discover that in terms of range and price, Tesla wins. You can't get another EV that will go the equivalent range with equivalent features for an equivalent price. Tesla are so far ahead, it is embarrassing. I've said this literally in 5 or 6 videos. Tesla's battery lead is embarrassingly far ahead of the competition. So why is CNBC presenting this as new information? Let's look at the 2 ways that this has come about. The first of those is the way the media works. They're not as creative as you might think. A lot of the times, the media aren't sitting there going, hey, what's a great story we can come up with? They're sitting there with open arms waiting for people with products or services or something to spruik and promote to come to them with a pitch. Like, hey guys, I'm a research firm and I just figured out something about Tesla. Please have me on and promote my business. That'll be really great. Thanks. So my hunch is that this research firm has come to CNBC and said, hey guys, we figured some stuff out about Tesla that's new and exclusive. Would you like to have us on to promote our product or service or our company in this case and our research abilities? That's all good and well. However, the fact that CNBC thought this was new information, I don't even know where to start. But I think part of the core reason this has happened is because these guys, this panel has had their head in the sand. And on top of that, They give more credence to somebody with some experience in the industry, like our good friend Bob Lutz, making his unfounded claims that Tesla has no advantages. They give more credence to his opinion than the actual evidence. And I have a funny feeling that this appearance from Bob Lutz, which I'll show you in just a moment, that aired a couple of years ago, may have shaped their thinking so strongly that they've been unable to even consider pulling their head out of the sand to check if anything he said was factually correct or not. I've got news. Everything Lutz said was horse shit. Nothing against the guy, he just was plain wrong. Made some assumptions and was wrong. Let's watch the clip.
Tesla has no advantage, no technological advantage, no software advantage, no battery advantage, no advantages whatsoever. Plus, what wasn't mentioned is whether they increase Model 3 production or not, they're still hemorrhaging cash at a prodigious rate, and that's not going to stop.
For those of you at home keeping score, literally every single point Bob Lutz made in that piece was wrong. Verifiably wrong. You don't need to be a genius to do a little bit of homework when somebody makes audacious claims like that to check them. Are they true? Did what they say make sense? Is there any evidence to back this up? Of course, none of the panel questioned Bob. None of the finance media questioned Bob, because Bob's God. Bob has lots of experience in the automotive industry, therefore everything he says is automatically true and does not need to be verified. I think this has shaped their thinking so profoundly that these guys still don't understand that Tesla has advantages in all of the areas that Bob mentioned, like all of them. I just don't understand, like fuck. Like think for yourself. Do your own homework, please. Let's move on.
Now to that exclusive data. It has to do with the battery costs for Tesla and other automakers as they're building electric vehicles. Look how much it's come down for Tesla. This is according to Cairn Energy Research Advisors. They basically break down batteries, look at the battery pack, look at the battery management system, and they say that Tesla is now down to $156 per kilowatt hour. That's at least $45 to $50 above all other automakers who do not use the same type of battery pack. They do not use cylindrical battery cells for building theirs. And according to Sam Jaffe with Cairn Energy Research, this is an advantage that Tesla is using and will use for years to come.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. May I refer you to the 2012 Tesla Model S with an EPA range of 265 miles and the 2019-2020 Porsche Taycan, which can't even match that range of a 7-year-old vehicle. Yeah, it looks like Tesla does have a battery advantage. I'm glad you guys were able to figure that one out.
Tesla has a few years advantage. They've started a few years before the other automakers have committed to this. So they're quite ahead. That's going to last over time if they continue to innovate, which so far they have.
Now, I just want to drive this point home because it's very easy to confuse yourself if you're not a really clear thinker on this and assume, oh great, Tesla's got a 3-year lead. That just means that a competitor needs to spend 3 years and they'll be caught up and they'll be in an even race. That, of course, assumes that Tesla stops innovating. Not going to happen. And on top of that, based on Tesla's track record, if you look at some of the things that they have done and their progress and their trajectory and understand stuff, not just make assumptions, but actually go deep, you'll probably realize that Tesla is better than everybody else at executing, at building batteries, at building electric cars, and at improving their technology. Their lead is likely to extend. 3 years' time, I think Tesla's lead is going to be 4 or 5 years ahead of everybody, not 3. According to a recent survey of graduating engineering students in the US, the number 1 and number 2 most desirable employers are SpaceX and Tesla. So Tesla's got the best engineers in the world and their pick of the bunch of the best new talent that's graduating from engineering degrees that's going to be driving technology forward over the next 10, 20, 30 years. How do you compete with that? The only thing I can think of is trying to poach talent from Tesla. What's your pitch? Hey man, hey girl, do you want to come and work for us on an inferior product, on inferior technology, and try and compete with the industry leader who you're currently already working for? Yeah, sounds like a really good pitch to me.
This is important data, guys, for one reason mainly. The fact that we continually hear from people saying, well, there's nothing different about a Tesla than any other electric vehicle. That is simply not true.
Big props to Phil here for saying it like it is. He's correct.
When you talk with, whether it's Cairn Energy Research or you talk with others, they will tell you that, yes, there is a difference both in terms of structure, the software, the chemistry. That is a difference that Tesla is using right now, and it's a big reason why increasingly when you talk with analysts on Wall Street, they say this is an advantage that Tesla will use at least for the next couple of years until other automakers become more competitive with them on the cost side.
I just want to chime in here because it seems to me that Phil is under the impression that Tesla's competition has a chance of catching up to them. All they need to do is keep improving their technology. But as I mentioned previously, Tesla's got the best engineers, the best leadership, the best technology, the most experience. I think their lead is going to accelerate. And personally, I'm going to call it now. I'd love to be right in a few years, clip this and go, yep, told you, called it again. Most of the legacy automakers, 5 or 10 years time, are either going to be bankrupt or buying batteries from Tesla. There, I said it.
For sure, the contest is far from over, Phil. That's good stuff. Our Phil LeBeau in Chicago. Thank you.
Actually, the contest has already been won by Tesla. They're so far ahead now that their lead really does appear unassailable. As I said, people are going to be buying batteries from Tesla or they're going to be bankrupt. So why did I make this video? I really just wanted to shine a spotlight on the extraordinary disconnect between what the finance media thinks and believes to be true about Tesla, about the electric vehicle industry in general, about battery technology, and the facts of the matter. If they're only now just starting to learn something that was painfully obvious to anybody that didn't have their head in the sand and did a tiny bit of homework, this has been obvious for more than half a decade. They're only just starting to figure this out. Just think about all the other areas that Tesla has a major competitive advantage in that the finance media is still completely oblivious to, that they're still not talking about. The penny's going to drop, whether it's in a week or a month or a year or longer than that. These guys eventually are going to start figuring stuff out, whether it's the full self-driving data lead, the battery technology, the fact that they're producing EVs profitably at scale, the over-the-air updates which no other automakers can figure out. All of these major competitive advantages, as far as the mainstream finance media goes, they don't exist. They haven't even looked into it. They don't know what is obvious to any retail investor that's willing to do just a tiny bit of homework. So what's the point? Well, here's the deal. If you have better information, you can make better decisions. Make of that what you will. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. This channel has kind of blown up since it launched, and I'm working on making the best possible content for you guys, but it takes time. Consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can continue creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. Either way, the best kind of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.
Tesla has no advantage, no technological advantage, no software advantage, no battery advantage, no advantages whatsoever.